What's good, YouTube? This video is going to be about one type of guy that a woman should never respect and things we should leave in 2020. Before I start this video, if you're a business owner or an entrepreneur who wants to grow their online business, convert more sales and make more money without spending thousands on business coaching and things like that, click the link below for a video of me sharing a tool that I'm personally using to grow my business right now. Then jumping right into this one type of guy you should never respect, and one type of guy that you need to leave in 2020 are these deadbeats. In 2021, decide who you respect. Decide who has something to offer you. Every year people get me on the phone and they want to talk about how they're screwing some deadbeat who's still a deadbeat, who's disappointing them like he disappointed the other women who had his children before. In 2021, if you don't do nothing else with your dating life, if you make zero more improvements, please stop screwing these deadbeat dads. What are you doing? Do you think that you're special? That somehow or another that girl that was before you, that didn't get the commitment, didn't get her child cared for, didn't get the child support or the child nurturing, didn't get the attention or the time that she needed with him as a father, as a partner during her pregnancy, and now as a parent with her young child? Do you think that somehow or another, because your WAP is better or you're special, he's going to give you something different than he gave her? Yes, there's always a woman who is treacherous and nasty and dastardly in the way she manipulates the children away from the men and uses the children to manipulate the men and control them and get revenge on them. I'm not talking about those. A lot of y'all are finding true, genuine deadbeat dads and then trying to figure out how to make him a real man. If you got to convince your new boyfriend to go see his children, if you have to convince your new boyfriend that he should be in their lives, that he should try, then you're probably dealing with a deadbeat. And as soon as things go badly with you and him and you get pregnant, you're going to be looking at the back of his ass just like she is. Again, if you don't take no advice at all from me, if you think I'm toxic, I'm a misogynist, I'm too classic, I'm old school, whatever you think about me, that's cool. But please stop screwing these deadbeat men. These fathers who don't take care of their children. These men who don't care about their communities. A lot of y'all are eating out of the trash can and then you swear up and down there are no good men. There are tons of good men. I'm a good man. I exist. Women act like, for whatever reason, only females have the capability of being good humans and every man is just garbage and so they need to choose from the garbage. That's not the case. Some of y'all need mindset training and mindfulness training because you're eating out of the garbage. You're choosing the garbage and then you're saying that all of us are garbage. When in fact, your choices, the guys that you like, the guys that you always commit to are garbage. Your decision making is garbage. I'm not even going to get into that. Just stop screwing deadbeat dads. If a guy has more than 2 babies' mothers and them kids aren't seeing their fathers, them kids aren't being touched by him, seeing his face, getting his time, getting his attention, getting his love. If a man wouldn't care for his own seed, why would he ever really love you in the way that you deserve to be loved? If he can look at himself in another human being and decide, fuck that person. Why would he ever really love you? How could he ever really give you the unconditional love that is supposed to be happening in a relationship? The type of love you give him. He can't even do that for his own child, his own seed. Men who are incapable of loving their kids, who are incapable of caring about their kids, are incapable of loving whatever woman they're bouncing on at any given time. Stop trying to be special to these men who aren't special. Some of you wonder why you had such terrible luck. Look at the baby mother history of the guys you've dated. That's why. You're choosing men who have chosen themselves over others every single time they've dated. Really start to consider a man's relationship history before you start deciding that you've fallen in love with him. A lot of y'all are falling in love with deadbeats. A lot of y'all are falling in love with career cheaters. A lot of y'all are falling in love with men who can't even love their own children. Why would they ever love you? They haven't honored the promises or the expectations of other women before, but you think you're special because them bitches didn't know what they was doing. Them bitches had a good man. It's interesting how women villainize the last woman. She be all kind of bitches and hoes, and she's got all of these things that must have been wrong with her, and that's why he didn't stay. But you know how to keep a man. I've watched women do knockdown, drag out fights in the street, arguing over who screwed the guy best last week. It was always funny to me how neither of them could see that they were just a sexual asset to a man who would never love either of them. Too often women think that the other woman just didn't know how to handle a man, which sometimes is true. There are some terrible women out here, okay? Every woman isn't a good woman, so let's just not pretend that females are exclusively good and honorable and just people. That is just not the case, right? There are as many men who think that it's hard to find a good woman as there are women who think it's hard to find a good man. And both of them are wrong and right. Yes, it's hard to find quality, but it's always been hard to find quality. But quality exists, so seek that out. I don't know why y'all assume if a guy's flawed and you can tell what his flaws are, that somehow or another, that's it. You got him figured out, and now you can focus on how sexy he is. And every nice guy or every decently seeming guy is somehow some closeted narcissist who must be avoided. So women literally run right into the hands of the arch nemesis of decency, of the villain of the story, just because she wants to make sure she avoids the closeted narcissist. You run right into the hands of a man who hasn't seen his kids in months, doesn't care to see his kids in months, hadn't tried to see his kids in months, would not show up to a court case because he doesn't want to pay child support, forgets his own kids' names. Like I've spoken to women who are dealing with some true deadbeats. Listen, if a guy has multiple babies' mothers, when you meet him, the first thing you need to be trying to figure out is why he has multiple babies' mothers. What exactly happened? You need those details, because you will become another one of those women if you don't understand what his reasoning is for abandoning multiple households. Sometimes things don't work out. I get that. Some guys are decent and women are just playing games with the kids. I get that. But no man should ever stop fighting for his child. No real man will ever stop fighting for his child. No real man would ever stop providing and protecting his child. Even if I had to sit down the street and do stakeouts to make sure that my son was okay, he was safe if I fell out with my wife, I'm never going to abandon my child. I'd rather drop dead. I don't understand why women get with these guys who don't care about their own children and then wonder why they never get the same care and the love that they would get from a man who actually wanted them. A man's history will always give you enough information to make an educated choice if you ask the right questions and if you speak to the right people and if you meet the people in his life. A lot of y'all like to assume that something was wrong with that other woman or she's being difficult with those children, and that's why. A lot of y'all like to assume that that guy's the victim. We talked about mindset in another video recently. A lot of y'all take on a mindset that this guy is being victimized and that he's not victimizing someone else's experience, that he's the survivor in the situation. All I'm asking you to do is investigate. Make sure that you're not dealing with a deadbeat dad. Stop screwing deadbeat dads in 2021. This shit's tired. It's been tired for the last 40 years. Ask the right questions. If a guy hasn't seen his kids, you need to know why. You need to know why he's not on speaking terms with the ex. You need to understand what her reasoning is for not having him around if she's keeping him from the kids. Maybe she knows something that you don't know. I'm not asking you to gang up and do this whole, coalition against these guys who are decent and honorable. What I'm asking you to do is stop putting yourself at risk by dealing with men who have shown in their histories that they are a risk mentally, emotionally, financially, sexually for other women. If a man can't consider his child, he will never consider you the way he needs to. So if you have an absentee father on your hands, if you're dating a guy who's an absentee father, he better have a damn good reason for being an absentee father. Otherwise, you're looking for trouble. And you get what you deserve sometimes. Every once in a while, we make decisions that lead us to a dark place. And while we feel like victims, we've done exactly what we wanted to do. So we're getting the due recompense for our actions. I don't want to be on that side of karma, and neither should you. Stop dealing with these weak men. Stop screwing these weak men. Stop screwing these deadbeat dads in 2021, please. A lot of y'all want to get in my comment section and tell me how I'm toxic, I'm narcissist, I'm a misogynist, I'm too old school, I judge women, I do all of this and that. You're in my comment section tough as hell. And then you up under somebody who treats you like shit. I want to see that same energy with that guy. Please go give him that same energy. Or get the hell away from him. There are tons of good men out here. But if you picking out the garbage, that's your fault. You know what you get from a lot of these guys. You get what you see. They're not trying to hide that they're garbage. They're not trying to hide that they don't have anything to offer you. There are a lot of good guys who don't want relationships and they will frolic and float around aimlessly. You bump into some of them. But there are just as many guys who only have themselves in mind, who don't care about anyone else, and who commit harm on a daily basis to a lot of different people. And many of them, for some reason or another, are the most popular with women. Just because other women want a guy, just because other women were not able to hook a guy, doesn't mean that you've won a prize if you're able to attach yourself to him. Especially if his own children can't attach themselves to him. Some of these men are scoundrels and you're dating them, and then you're looking around talking about there's no good men. And there are tons of good men. You've stepped on a few, you've thrown a few out the way, you've shot a few in the face, you've stabbed a few in the heart, and then you jumped over and leaped over obstacles just to get to these shitty little despicable ass men who won't even take care of their children. If a guy has kids in 2021, he better damn well be in their life before he's on top of you. Otherwise, when you have a child, you're going to look just like that ex-baby mama. And you're going to understand her at that point. But by then, it will be too late. Anyway, that's all I got for now. That's my little rant. Follow me at Kevik24 on Instagram. I'll get with y'all later.